When considering ancient Greece, one might envision legendary conflicts, valiant warriors, profound thinkers, or architectural marvels that continue to captivate us today, albeit in varied manifestations. This evokes thoughts of iconic cities like Athens and Sparta. The ancient Greek realm witnessed the rise of remarkable civilizations, emerging from the depths of the Greek Dark Ages, spanning from the 12th to 9th centuries BC, until the conclusion of what we recognize as antiquity. It's essential not to conceive of ancient or classical Greece as a singular nation. No unified ancient Greek state, with Athens or Sparta as its capital, ever materialized. Instead, what emerged were numerous cities, each governing itself independently with its unique form of government and developmental trajectory. Interactions among these cities varied, encompassing alliances, treaties, and trade agreements, alongside periods of hostility. Taking a broader perspective, rivalry was prevalent, particularly between two prominent entities. The classical period of Greece spanned approximately 2 centuries, primarily the 5th and 4th centuries BC. This era is predominantly examined through the lens of Athenian culture, as Athens has bequeathed to us a wealth of narratives, plays, and written records compared to other ancient Greek city-states. The classical period was marked by significant conflicts that etched themselves into history, including the subjugation of certain Greek city-states and the looming specter of the most substantial threats to ancient Greek civilization up to that point. During these decades, the formidable Persian Empire experienced expansive growth, conquering vast territories stretching from Bactria to the Arabian Sea, encompassing Lydia, Babylon, Phoenicia, and Egypt. With their mastery of warfare and invasion, the Persians posed a significant threat to mainland Greece. However, this looming danger also served as a catalyst for many Greek city-states to forge alliances against the common enemy. The Ionian Revolt of 500 BC marked a pivotal moment when the Greek world began to coalesce into a unified entity. This uprising triggered the Persian invasion of 492 BC. Although the Persians suffered defeat in 490 BC, they made a second attempt from 481 to 479 BC, despite marching through mainland Greece, ultimately failing to achieve their objectives. At pivotal junctures in the conflict, notably the iconic battles of Thermopylae and Artemisium, the course of ancient Greek history was irrevocably altered. Despite facing a formidable adversary, the Persians, the Greek resistance endured for over 2 decades. The Greeks, buoyed by their military innovation, strategic acumen, and unyielding courage, stood resolute against the superior might of the Persian invaders. The Persian invasion encountered staunch resistance near the pass of Thermopylae, where Spartan king Leonidas and his 300 warriors, aided by other Greeks, valiantly held their ground against thousands of Persians for 3 days. Beyond being a singular moment in history, this legendary battle epitomized the Spartan way of life, embodying their ethos of valor, discipline, and unwavering resolve. Spartans dedicated their allegiance to the state and military service above all else. From the tender age of 7, Spartan boys embarked on their education and military training, reportedly residing in barracks, where they underwent rigorous and continuous training, even during periods of peace. Following the Persian Wars, the Delian League emerged, with Athens assuming a dominant position in terms of leadership and resources. However, Athenian prosperity eventually led to direct conflicts with Sparta, as tensions between the two powerful city-states escalated. The Peloponnesian War erupted in 431 BC, and despite a temporary peace, hostilities resumed to the advantage of Sparta. Athens suffered defeat in 404 BC, resulting in Sparta emerging as the preeminent power in the Greek world. However, the narrow focus of the Spartan warrior elite proved ill-suited to their newfound dominance, leaving them ill-prepared for the complexities of governing Greece. In 395 BC, the Spartan rulers ousted Lysander from office, leading to the loss of Sparta's naval supremacy over Athens, Argos, Thebes, and Corinth. The latter two, once allies of Sparta, challenged its dominance in the Corinthian War, which ultimately concluded inconclusively in 387 BC. The Corinthian War unveiled a notable shift in the Greek landscape. While Athens and Sparta engaged in exhaustive conflict, Thebes was ascending to a position of prominence among the diverse Greek city-states. Concurrently, in that very year, Sparta brokered the Peace of Antalcidas with Persia. This treaty resulted in the relinquishment of the Greek cities of Ionia and Cyprus, marking a stark reversal of a century's worth of Greek victories against Persia. Sparta's attempts to diminish the power of Thebes ultimately sparked a conflict with the city-state, which in turn formed an alliance with its long-standing adversary, Athens. In 378 BC, the hold of Sparta over Thebes was shattered by a popular uprising within the city. Before delving deeper into this, it's imperative to comprehend why Sparta excelled in warfare. From its inception, Sparta operated under a diarchic system featuring two kings who ruled simultaneously. These dual kingships, rooted in the Agiad dynasty and the Eurypontid dynasty, were hereditary and remained a fixture throughout Sparta's history. Legend has it that the hereditary lines of the Agiad and Eurypontid dynasties trace back to Eurysthenes and Procles, twin descendants of Hercules. According to the tale, these twins purportedly conquered Sparta approximately 2 generations after the Trojan War, laying the foundation for the dynastic rule that endured for centuries. Life as a Spartan warrior was characterized by privilege tempered with rigorous discipline. Upon birth, Spartan males underwent scrutiny by a council of elders to ensure physical fitness. Those deemed unfit were often abandoned in nearby gorges, a practice intended to maintain the strength and vitality of the Spartan population. At the age of 7, a boy who had passed the initial examination was separated from his mother to commence his formal education. Any disobedience or display of fear during battle were considered grounds for expulsion. Additionally, there existed several inferior classes for those who had faltered. An individual whose ancestors had descended from the elite ranks was assigned derogatory labels such as inferiors or tremblers. Following Athens' defeat in 404 BC, Sparta exercised its power to forge and dissolve alliances at will, leading to unforeseen consequences. Some Spartans, benefiting from favorable relations, indulged in imprudent, avaricious, or opportunistic military endeavors, occasionally violating treaty obligations and straying from traditional Greek ethical standards. They soon realized that their government and officials were willing to overlook their misconduct, leading to a decline in Sparta's popularity. Other Greek city-states, whether long-standing allies or adversaries of Sparta, grew increasingly discontented with Spartan dominance. Eventually, a new coalition opposing Spartan hegemony was formed, reflecting the widespread dissatisfaction among the Greek populace. The Spartans endeavored to uphold their position as rulers of the Greek world, relying on their formidable military prowess to assert authority. Spartan hoplites remained unparalleled in skill and discipline. Yet as casualties mounted over time, Sparta could ill afford to sustain further costly victories. Each battlefield loss depleted their ranks, diminishing their ability to confront adversaries. Additionally, uncertainties arose regarding the enduring supremacy of Sparta's traditional hoplite tactics, signaling potential shifts in the dynamics of warfare. In 390 BC, the Spartans were taken aback by the defeat of an isolated Spartan regiment, resulting in the loss of approximately 250 men. Concurrently, Sparta's adversaries were gaining insights into Spartan military tactics, posing a growing challenge to Sparta's dominance on the battlefield. Following the events of 378 BC, the hold of Spartan control over Thebes was shattered by a popular uprising within the city. the Theban army underwent reorganization, embarking on a campaign to liberate towns from Spartan garrisons. In 375 BC, Theban general Pelopidas achieved a remarkable victory over a significantly larger Spartan force, further bolstering Theban authority. The rapid rise of Theban power prompted mistrust from Athens, underscoring the growing influence of Thebes in the region. Athens commenced its resurgence by forming a second Athenian League. In 371 BC, the Theban army, under the command of Epaminondas, dealt a devastating blow to Spartan forces at the Battle of Leuctra. The defeat resulted in significant losses for Sparta, including 400 of its 2,000 citizen troops. Epaminondas's triumph marked the culmination of a prolonged era of Spartan military prestige and dominance over Greece, signaling the end of Spartan hegemony. The resounding victory of the Theban armed forces over the Spartan hoplite army at the Battle of Leuctra in 371 BC marked the conclusion of an era in Greek military history and ushered in a permanent shift in the balance of power. With each passing challenge, the long-standing certainties of the golden age of the 5th century BC had been gradually eroded. However, the perception of Spartan military invincibility had endured as a steadfast bastion until this pivotal moment. Indeed, the mere sight and sound of an advancing line of Spartan soldiers had long been enough to instill fear in opponents, often before the clash of weapons. However, upon closer examination of Sparta's history as a military society, the collapse following the Battle of Leuctra begins to reveal its underlying logic and rationale. By the time they confronted the Thebans, Sparta had already been grappling with serious challenges for a considerable period. It was only a matter of time before someone exploited Sparta's profound vulnerabilities. The narrative of Sparta's decline and ultimate fall serves as an objective lesson, highlighting the consequences of internal weaknesses and external pressures on even the mightiest of powers. In the intricate interplay between social organization and military might, Sparta ultimately revealed itself as a society characterized by deception, self-delusion, and profound confusion. At the pinnacle of its notable achievements, and as the epitome of the Greek hoplite, Sparta found itself ultimately unable to muster sufficient hoplite warriors to avert military catastrophe. Despite never fully recuperating from its setbacks, Sparta managed to maintain its status as a regional power for over 2 centuries. Forming alliances with the Romans, Sparta thrived under Roman governance, enjoying the status of a free city and serving as a coveted destination for the Roman elite. However, its fortunes took a downturn towards the end of 396 AD when it fell victim to a devastating sack by the Visigoths.